I am very happy to be your speaker. If GNC doesn't come through. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I can do that. This is your normal meeting, right? Is it like an annual thing? Yeah. Cool. I got it. All right. Cool. I'll meet you. Very happy. Thank you. I appreciate it.
This meeting is called to order. In order, we have a joint meeting with the county commissioners in the city. The time is at 6 o'clock, and we welcome them here with this joint meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On behalf of the Board of County Commissioners, I'd like to call to order the joint meeting with the City of Alachua. First item is to approval of the agenda.
Move approval of the agenda, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Motion and a second. Further discussion to the motion on the floor. Are there any citizen comments to the motion? Good evening.
Good evening, Chair Chestnut, County Commissioners, Mr. Welsh, Mayor Welsh, Commissioners. My name is Tamara Robbins. In previous joint meetings, you allowed the public to have an opportunity to speak to the items that you were discussing, regardless of whether there was a motion on the floor or not. So I'm asking you to, again this evening, provide that opportunity for the public to be heard after your discussions or at some point during them, if you would, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Any further comments from the citizens? Back to the board. Those in favor of the motion, vote by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Mr. Mayor. Yes.
Make sure we're in here.
Oh, that's right. She did give me my instructions. I'm just got a habit of moving my big head. Okay. Okay. Back to you, Mr. Mayor.
Now we will ask if the public, if you have any comments you want to.
Having done, Mr. Mayor, I think we can go on to the agenda items.
All right.
Number one.
We address the items of the approval of the agenda. It's already been moved in second. And now the agenda item A.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I think county is here to update on the roads within the city of limits of Alachua.
Staff here. Brian.
Good evening,
Good
Mr.
evening.
Chair and Commissioners. My name is Brian Kaufman, and I'm the Assistant Public Works Director for Alachua County. And I brought with me tonight some gifts. We're celebrating our 200-year anniversary this year in Alachua County. And I wanted to bring you some magnets to put on the back of your car. Maybe to help celebrate with us.
We like gifts. You got any more?
I have a few more of these if you need a few more of those, of the stickers. Well, good evening. Wasn't sure if we were going to be able to put it up on the graphics. If not, I brought some paper versions. The map is the same as what you saw last year. Oh, yes. Here, let me keep one. I'll wait a second, but the map should be familiar with you, or to you. It's what we used last year. And this comes from our transportation capital improvement plan that the board passed in 2023. And the circle, I'll kind of look at the map here. So this circle is a 5-mile diameter circle, and it shows the projects that are in and around the city here. Of course, the pink area is the city limits. So as you see, there's a lot of projects that are slated for construction. And on here, we also have the location as well as the year. On the back side, it has the same information, but it's in a table form. So we've got several projects coming up. Some of the ones that we get the most calls on are County Road 235. And as you see, we've got some major rehabilitation on that road in 2026 and in 2027. And also the one we get a lot of calls on is County Road 235A, especially north of 441. And as you can see, we have that programmed for the year 2028. And this is all part of our capital improvement plan that, like I said, the board adopted in 2023. It's a $250 million project, $250 million that the board is investing in our infrastructure. So we're very excited about having that. A lot of the funding comes from the surtax that was passed in 2022. And so we are very excited about being able to make these improvements. Did anybody have any questions on a particular project?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor? If I may ask a couple of questions?
Yes.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to Alachua.
Thank you.
One question is just clarification for me for 235. And forgive me because I don't have my reading glasses with me. Is that start? Where does that start and where does that finish? And in particular, I'm curious, is it including, there's a stretch of road there's a fork where 241 goes to the left, 235, of course, goes to the right. And that 235 stretch from that gas station that's at the fork, there's a stretch there of about, I don't know, 300 feet that's really, really needing some love. And I just wanted, if you could expand on that one.
That's included in there.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And so where does that start and where does it end, approximately, give or take?
Well, it starts,
Is
well,
it-
there's two separate projects, but put together.
Right,
It-
I
it
understand
will-
that.
It will start at by the school and expand and basically on down to, let me see,
235, not 235A.
235
Yeah,
to 94th Avenue.
okay.
Yeah. There's a
Okay.
section between 62nd Avenue and 94th Avenue that will be done in 2027.
Yep,
And then in 2026, it will go from the railroad tracks to 94th Avenue.
gotcha,
So,
okay.
So it'll cover, I think, the area that you're,
That area, okay.
yeah, that
And
you're
then,
concerned about, by the convenience store.
yep. And then a second question is, can you, because this will come up, so I might as well put it out there because it's going to come up. 235A, and I'll call it south.
Right? Toward the distribution centers?
Yeah, that's obviously not on this map
Right.
at all. And so I was wanting you to kind of delve into that. And I know that I'm aware of the Florida, the grant that Sean McClendon was recently talking about at a Alachua Chamber meeting. So I was wondering if you could kind of expand on why 235, that part is not on this map, and what tied into that, if you could expand more on the grant application process. Because I have had residents ask about, what can they do to encourage that grant? Letter writing or petition or whatever, and I realize I just threw a lot at you. I apologize, but I know that all of this is going to come up either from this dais or from this audience.
Yeah, that's a good question. And that is a road of interest for us. As you just mentioned, we have that grant application in. I think it's $3.7 million that we've applied for. And it would be really nice to get that done there for the distribution centers. The reason it just didn't fall in because of the traffic numbers. I mean, when we did this capital improvement plan, we use a computer program to basically look at volumes of traffic, and it also looks at the age of the pavement and many other factors, and it selects the roads that it says we should do. It's the most cost-effective method of treating the roads within the entire county. And so, unfortunately, there's roads that did not get selected. There's never enough money. There's never enough money to do everything that we would like to do, unfortunately. But that is one that's on our list and that we are trying to obtain a grant for. You had another part of that question?
I think it was.
What could you do?
Do you know this? And again, I know Sean's kind of over this, but could you give this board and our citizens information about the grant as far as, I know it's been submitted. Do we know when we'll hear who's going to be awarded the grant, if it gets awarded, anything to help? And then what can our public do and what can we as a board do to support it and encourage it? I'll be honest, out of all due respect, and I appreciate the computer programming and all that stuff, it is surprising to me that particular stretch of 235A doesn't show up at all. I mean, I could even go with that it shows up 2030 even, but it's not even on the map, and that's part of me is extremely disappointed, but at the same time, I'm encouraged by the fact that the county applied for that grant. So I'm a little torn inside about the situation, but I certainly want to do everything we can to encourage and support the grant and let the state know that, yes, this is very important to this community.
Right. Let me look around the room and see if somebody else may be able to help answer you a little bit more about the grant itself.
Mr. Chair, if I could add that Sean McClendon did reach out to the city and staff. We prepared a letter of support for that grant. So that's what we've worked out with Mr. McClendon.
Can that letter also be used by residents and business owners or whoever?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Then my next question would be, how can we get that template out?
I'll have to speak to Mr. McClendon because he was the
Okay.
one that was because he sent the template. So
Okay.
I'll talk to him.
Okay. I know your county manager was waving
Yes.
over there.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Mayor, Commissioner, the grant is actually. Oh, the light's on. It's on. The grant is actually $13.9 million for that roadway segment.
I think it's not on.
It's red. Turn it, push it. Push it and it'll turn green. There we go. Okay. Had to learn how it works. Okay, the grant application is actually 13.9 million, so it's approximately 14 million to do that segment of road. And while I understand also the frustration about what roads are in and what aren't, one thing to remember is with 400 miles of road, when you put in the criteria, the way the criteria looked at it was not only by traffic counts, for example, but also condition of the roads, because worst in, first in was not always working, because then roads that weren't to failure yet were being allowed to fail because they were being left over here because they weren't the worst yet. So what the criteria takes into account is essentially where do we get the most bang for our buck for the money that we're spending to bring up the pavement condition of all of our road network to the highest level we can for that amount of money. So in some cases, that leaves some roads that that the public would say, this seems to be a terrible road, why isn't this one being included, or why is it so far down the list? And it may be because spending money to treat a road segment to keep it from failing in 5 years and keep the pavement in great condition for 20 makes more sense today in the long run. So those are some of the factors that were taken into account. But we do understand the pavement condition is an issue, which is especially with the distribution facilities there, and that's what makes it difficult, is the weight of those trucks are always going to put an extensive amount of pressure on that road network and that location. So we have applied for the grant. Support of the city, support of the community is important. We do know that some of the distribution facilities that are coming in have shown support and actually gone to Tallahassee to support that for us, and that's also been helpful. And we also have members of the legislative delegation as well.
Okay, we had Commissioner Prizia.
Yeah, I guess she corrected a lot of it. One was this 13.9, not 3. The other was that I guess I wanted to point out, much like Michelle did, that even if we repave that road today, within 5 years, that road would be torn up again because it is covered now with those distribution centers. And that roadway is a country roadway. It was never meant to be a highway for trucks. And so with that increased traffic, the application that we're putting in is actually to make that roadway come up to truck standards. So it's a completely different standard of roadway. And even if we were going to repave it, we would never repave it to that standard because we just can't afford that. That's not really what county roads are typically built at in terms of sort of the engineering of them. So this grant allows us to bring the road up to an engineering standard that would be in keeping with the distribution centers. And I would say the thing you could do for us is pass impact fees so that when the distribution centers come in, they would pay their share of taking care of those roads. Thank you.
Somehow, Commissioner Prizia, I knew you were going to throw that in there at the end. I know that. Well, thank you very much for the information, and we greatly appreciate the grant application, and definitely want to encourage everyone to continue with their support on that. And we'll make sure that on our end, City Manager, I'm sure we'll make sure that we get that information out to everyone. And didn't mean to put you on the spot about that, but I thought it was important to talk about.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to comment on this because I believe we received an email asking for our support on this, and I know we didn't have enough time, but I did send a personal letter to the county for this, as well as through my own social media, trying to encourage citizen participation in this. I know we don't get a lot of opportunity. Let me rephrase this. On these things, right, it's county road, city land, right? But what really happens here is it affects all the residents, and we need to really work together on this. And what I hope is we may be able to look at these impact fees. If we're going to keep building out here, we need to make sure, I've heard stories when I was campaigning about high school students driving off of the road into the sides to try and go around the semi trucks or to avoid potholes or to because they already got 2 tires popped that week. And so what I think is any way that the city and the county can work on making sure that these roads in our municipality that is technically, owned by the county, we can work together on finding a solution that does not put our residents at risk.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any public comments?
Hello, my name is Sori Lindberg. I was the citizen that sent an email to commissioners about this grant. I was in contact with Sean McClellan, and the angle he received when he sent a template letter for residents is it was not for warehouses. To my understanding, of course, I do not work for the city or the county or the state, but it was for low and moderate income residents of the Santa Fe River Crescent area. So the letters that we sent through social media and sharing and email forwarding was, that was the angle that was recommended. And of course, people added their own twist to it. So last I heard, he had about 12 letters. And it's something encouraging for everyone is he said they can still accept letters and bundle it with the application. So even though he sent it in, it's not late. We can share that template for anyone that wants it. But of course, add your own twist to it. He also mentioned, I'm paraphrasing from an email I read 2 weeks ago, so it's going to stay a 2-lane road. They're going to bring it up to current engineering standards with stormwater runoff, because my concern was if there's going to be a lot of development on that road, are you going to change the size? No, it's still 2 lanes. So yeah, I just wanted to include that about the low and moderate income residents that this grant would be helping, hopefully, so fingers crossed.
Good evening again. My name's Tamara Robbins. I appreciate Commissioner Williams bringing this road segment up. At your last joint meeting last year, there was discussion by Mr. Chair, Commissioner Wheeler, and then Mr. Mayor, it was Mayor Kerper. There was discussion about approaching the state and soliciting the state, and apparently those two were going to work on this together to get a truck route bypass. So I'd like an update on that, because I've never heard another thing about it, and I can't imagine where that bypass would go. This isn't High Springs where you can kind of finagle that. So I'd like an update on that. County Road 237, of course, since we don't have an overhead opportunity here, it's difficult for any of us to imagine these road segments that are being referenced here. The County Road 237 in Hague, where it meets into 441, I'm going to lobby for that one to get some love. There's been numerous fatalities at that intersection, and so I think that should be something that's taken into consideration, not just the road condition, but the conditions and that whole intersection is very dangerous. Okay, I don't know where it is on there, but I'm glad to know that.
27 and 28.
Okay, great. I know they did come out and repaint the stop bar because it had been destroyed from traffic, right? So there was a real tendency to kind of miss the stop and then just end up in that fast lane of traffic on 441. So that's a really dangerous area. And it's really dark there. There's no street lighting or anything. So encourage some solar street lights out there too. Back when the Dollar General Distribution Center was approved, there was an agreement with Dollar General that they were to pay their not more than, it's what Randy Reed wrote, the county manager at the time wrote in a letter, they were required to not pay more than their proportionate share when that road gets repaved again. And I'm asking this county commission and the city commission to make sure that Dollar General is held to that commitment, because that development order was approved. I didn't vote for it, but it was approved with that condition in there. And I agree with Commissioner Prizia, Mr. Chair, that impact fees are kind of a no-brainer these days. We cannot afford to continue to absorb the impacts of not just truck traffic, just the increase in the impact of traffic on all levels. Development must pay its fair share. Thank you.
Any further citizen comments? Okay. Thank you all. We'll move to the next item is the Pinkerton Spring update and potential joint project between the city and the county.
Good evening, commissioners. I'm David Weisner, Economic Development Manager for the City of Alachua, and I'm happy to provide an update for a presentation that was given at last year's joint City-County Commission meeting regarding a unique property near Turkey Creek known as Pinkerton Springs. So to very briefly recap what we discussed last year, the city presented to both commissions an opportunity to potentially partner in an environmental protection project somewhat similar to Mill Creek Sink on this roughly 6-acre parcel that is located within the Columbia Hornsby Treehouse Springs Priority Focus Area, and it is adjacent to US Highway 441 and the entrance to the Turkey Creek subdivision. The parcel contains a tributary of Turkey Creek itself, as well as 2 streams that run into Turkey Creek. There are a handful of small springs dotting the primary spring run, which likely emerges from underneath Highway 441. Research conducted by Water and Air Research suggests that the water flowing down the run is indeed groundwater, and that the flow is comparable to both Bulware and Glen Springs. Like these 2 Gainesville springs, Pinkerton also has a rich and varied history, as you can see an old picture from 1927 up there, of recreational use, and it originally opened for recreation in 1925 by Charles Pinkerton Sr., former sheriff and the grandfather of former County Commissioner Lee Pinkerton, complete with concrete swimming areas that still exist today. And you can kind of see in that first picture down there, there's a concrete corrugated area by the swimming by the swimming pool, and we'll actually see a picture of what that kind of looks like today here in a second. The Pinkerton family sold the spring in 1940, at which point it changed its name to Milwaukee Springs, and was very briefly a recreation area specifically for African Americans. Within a couple of years, though, the spring was sold again, and its name was changed to Mineral Springs Park. It operated at least throughout the 1940s, and at its height, had a restaurant, roller skating rink, several cabins, and a place for dancing. It is unclear when exactly the park ceased operating, though aerial photographs show that Highway 441 was expanded between 1949 and 1955, which quite possibly directly impacted the spring's flow. And you can kind of see in that bottom picture there, it's a little bit hard to see, but there is that same concrete corrugating in the that was in the earlier 1927 photo. And that photo there on the top right shows a series of concrete steps that are still out there. So lastly, in summation from last year, because the spring and its stream runs on the property feed Turkey Creek, which in turn directly feeds the Floridan Aquifer via the Split Rock Sink in the San Flesko State Hammock, this parcel presents a unique opportunity at both preserving historically significant amenities and engaging in a project that would improve the water quality entering the aquifer. Several water samples taken over the last few years by the county, by the Suwannee River Water Management District, and at the behest of the city, demonstrate that both E. coli and nitrate levels in the spring run exceed Florida surface water quality standards, so a project to address those issues is warranted. So, to update, after last year's joint commission meeting, in which both commissions agreed to explore opportunities to partner on projects that would potentially improve the water quality, the city has focused primarily on first acquiring the parcel itself. It is currently privately owned by an owner who is willing to sell and has to this point been very patient while working toward locating funding options. But his patience may be running lower as the city has to date not been able to find a source for funding. To elaborate on that, the city hired environmental consultant WSP, which the city had previously contracted on the Mill Creek Sink project, to attempt to duplicate a similar partnership between the Suwannee River District and FDEP. The city also had an appraisal conducted on the parcel, which came back with an approximate value of $170,000 for roughly 6 acres. WSP submitted a grant application to the district on behalf of the city, emphasizing the need to acquire the parcel in a timely manner, while also submitting some very preliminary water quality improvement options, which is what you see up on the screen there. Hard to see, sorry about that. But the district requested both more detailed project research and proposals and a 50% cost share with the city, which is not currently within the city's budget, and differs from what was offered during the Mill Creek Sink project, which was fully funded by the district and FDEP. The city does plan to submit an application in the summer to the state's Springs Grants Program, which was the grant program that did fund the Mill Creek project, which could potentially offer funds without the match that the district is currently requiring. City staff additionally did connect with Alachua Conservation Trust's Executive Director, Tom Kay, to determine its interest in potentially helping to acquire the parcel. After an initial meeting with the executive director and then a follow-up meeting with him and the property owner, staff has not received further word from the trust despite repeated attempts to express the time-sensitive nature of acquiring the property. City staff also reached out to county staff in an attempt to see if county funding may be available to assist with acquiring the parcel, Very recently, we did learn that the parcel had been nominated for acquisition by Alachua County Forever in 2017, at which time the Land Conservation Board did not feel the property was a strong enough candidate for protection. There is an option to bring the parcel back for reconsideration to Alachua County Forever, with the caveat that something new about the property would have to be presented, which might be provided by the additional water quality research that the city has sponsored by both Water and Air Research and WSP. So to conclude, the city remains committed to attempting to find funding to both acquire the Pincusson Springs parcel and engage in both historical preservation and water quality improvement projects. And we hope the county remains committed to partnering to see what those projects come to be and into fruition. And I am happy to take any questions or comments.
Have you all secured your 50% of the match? Like, would you have been able to?
Mr. Chair, no, the city does not currently have funding sufficient to do so. That's been the catch.
Huh? I know. So you guys have committed all of your Wild Spaces, Public Places funding?
To different projects, yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Commissioner Wheeler.
Thank you. Magic touch. Yes, sir. So you have spoken again with the Land Acquisition Board to say that that might be brought forward again with new information?
Yes, ma'am, that is all, yes.
So, do you know how far it is in that process?
Just learned about this all actually just last week, so I haven't started anything on the process yet. No.
Okay. All right, because that I think that's a good place to go.
Commissioner Wheeler, could you speak into the microphone?
Yes,
closer?
I'm so
Thank
sorry.
you.
I could hear myself big and loud. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. It's good to see you.
Cornell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So there's a new board, got a couple of new members. You know, if you guys want to have a meeting and can find 85,000 in your wild spaces, I'm more than happy to try to work on this and continue to work on this. It would seem like that would be kind of a first step.
Mr. Chair, I agree. We should this needs to be explored more. It's interesting to me, Mr. Weisner, thank you for your presentation. It's interesting to me, and I'm not sure what to make of it, that Conservation Trust and Forever both didn't jump on this, because it's not only, it's my understanding, this is not only just an area of our city that we do need to conserve, but there's also this tremendous historic component of it, which you touched on, but really, there's a fabulous story behind Pinkeson Spring, or whatever name it's been along the way. So in my mind, I envision it kind of as a dual purpose, kind of a dual win-win as far as historical and environmental. I do want. I don't know enough to get into detail, but I agree with Commissioner Cornell that I think maybe we need to take a look at our wild spaces, public places going forward. I'm not saying take it away from any projects that we have currently. Those are great projects we have them assigned to, I think, for future, if possible. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Chair, and a further comment there. I did finally get eyes today on the Alachua County Forever nomination form from 2017, and they did not have any water quality data at the time to submit to that, so that would be a large component that I would imagine would be very helpful for a future consideration.
Mr. Chair, if I can ask a question. So on this property, and I'm assuming this is why Alachua Forever didn't do this, is on the left and right properties, does that create like a wildlife corridor? Or is it just that parcel surrounded by commercial on all sides? Or like a residential on all sides?
Mr. Chair, to the, well, it'd actually be, to the east, actually, I think. To the right is the entrance to Turkey Creek, as well as a handful of condominiums, but to the left, it is all undeveloped.
Have you, and when you guys were looking at the appraisals, because I believe there is actually, I guess I have the map up here. I guess it's kind of hard to get into the Sanchez Prairie via getting the land to actually turn that into a corridor. That's probably pretty difficult the way it's laid out with Turkey Creek right there.
Yeah, to my knowledge, Mr. Chair, this property was available. I do not know of whether any of the other adjacent properties would be potentially available for purchase.
Okay. And then I guess for the city manager is we haven't finalized any of our 2025, 2026 budgets, so there's room for us to look into this with our wild places, public spaces funding.
That's correct, Mr. Chair. There are other funding sources internally that we're looking into because of the, just frankly, the urgent nature of the property owner has been so patient, and so we're concerned that time runs out and then it gets developed into something that maybe we're all not real happy with. So we're looking into that, but the answer to the budget question is no, we have not.
Awesome. Thank you.
Vice Chair Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Weisner, for the presentation. This piece of property is priceless, and I think we must pull together. I agree with Commissioner Cornell and my colleagues who have spoken. I read a lot of the history that Mr. Weisner pulled up, and I think the chestnuts are also embedded into this property, as well as some other African Americans that I know. So I would hope that we can find the funding to purchase, develop, improve the water quality, whatever we need to do. This is a great opportunity for a partnership. So I see nods. That's a great thing. Thank you, Mr. Weissner.
Commissioner Cornell?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, what I would say, Commissioners, is $170,000, and if we've got the state saying they're looking for a 50% cost share from the local municipality, if you guys can find that 85,000, we've got in our stormwater assessment fee, part of that goes to water quality. And so to the extent you all will step up and make that purchase and own the land, I think you'll have a partner, or at least, I know we spoke at the last meeting, we spoke that we were all in favor of working with the city on this. I agree with Vice Mayor, you know, that parcel, if it's not preserved, it will ultimately be developed right next to Turkey Creek, and it would be a nice addition to your city, and you know, you've got a partner in the county with regards to water quality. So y'all can make that happen. Send us a little note. We can kind of reestablish this with the state and hopefully get this done by the time we meet again next year. Thank you.
And if I might too, I mean, I do think we also have the expertise in-house to help think through some of those water quality projects. So, you know, if we put an easement over it through Alachua County Forever, perhaps we could offer to help with the management of the property if you're going to keep it in conservation. It's something that I'd definitely be willing to explore as well. Thank you.
Okay, no further comments? Are there any citizen comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Mayor, Commissioners. I am kind of stunned because this was discussed at your last joint meeting a year ago. Everyone essentially said sort of the same thing. County was all on board. I was stunned in the audience that the city of Alachua was giving such a priority, like, shout out to preserving this spring. And I was like, wow, there is hope. And the county commissioners were all just, bring it. We are on this project. We want to do this project. And to have the staff members say they just learned about this last week, I don't even know what to say. I just kind of want to stand here silent because this is inexcusable. If, Mr. Mayor, what Commissioner Williams says, this is such a great gem of a property, then where have you been the last year? Have you guys had a workshop on this? Did you discuss it during your budget cycle? You know, so finding $85,000, I would say that would be pretty easy in a budget of, what's the city's budget? 50, 60,000, 60 million, something like that? Okay. You ought to be able to scrape up that amount for something that's so important. There was just a self-storage unit that was big controversy that was developed to the west of that parcel right there. And this was part of the big discussion about why that was problematic, is because there was no road access to this storage unit that wanted to build back in those wetlands. Well, it's happening, city commissioners. So I'm here to encourage you to do what you said you were going to do a year ago. I mean, seriously, 3 of you were up there. So direct your city manager to bring this to a workshop and get your foot on the pedal on this, because you're good at developing everything else around the city. And you always find money for that infrastructure. Let's do what you say is important a year ago and preserve this spring. And thank you, Mr. Chair, to the county commissioners for doing exactly what they did last time, which was to say, we are on board on this project, but it is you driving the project. And if you're not going to drive it and ask the county for help, don't expect them coming to want to beg to help. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chair and members. For me, I was also surprised to hear the history of this project. And since it was presented last year and somewhat accepted, presented this year, and now I hear that it's going to come back next year. But I would like to think out of the box. If you guys cannot find the $85,000, and because it's a timely matter, citizen would be willing to put potentially money without interest, including myself, such that this can move forward, because I care about historical value, I care about the recreational, and I care about the environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, can you tell us your name for the record, sir?
Hey, could you come give your phone number and address, and so everybody can call you with a donor card?
Good evening.
Hey, good evening. Can I have my time reset, please? Thank you so much. Rudy Rothsiden, citizen of the city here. I love hearing being stewards of our land, being protective of our waters, protecting what the most valuable thing we have here in our area. The cup is filling up in Florida, and the water level has gotten to us in Alachua County. Development is coming from all directions, all angles, and it's from people that are wanting to move out of South Florida, move out of New York, move out of California, move out of these metropolitan areas that want to come to a good life area where life is easier. But we change our LDRs, we change our plans, and we're doing nonstop development of just the same type of development that occurs in Miami. These national builders, 5-foot setbacks, postage stamp areas, crowding in as many homes into a parcel of land as we possibly can. The mention of Mill Creek was brought up. Mill Creek, when they were talking about the project at Walmart over here, they said Mill Creek was one of the most important environmental features of our county, not just our city, but our county. This land there was a deal that was supposed to go through with, I was hoping to go through with Wild Places, but was broken up. I love hearing our commissioners speak about how we want to preserve our water, but we need to put our money where our mouth is and protect that spot of water, because that one we have direct link to where it is going to in wells, in our springs, in Boulware Springs, and not Boulware Springs, Hornsby Springs, and down the line towards High Springs. We need to protect our area, protect our water. It's very important. If our water is gone, life is gone. I've had a wonderful afternoon of sitting at the edge of the Santa Fe River yesterday. And it is so peaceful and it's so relaxing to dip your feet in the cool waters and to enjoy life. I've been very busy recently, and to be able to have a couple moments with my wife, my daughter, my dogs, sitting by the riverside and enjoying the beauty of it, I never want to see that go. And I hope we all grasp that reality and do what we can to protect it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further citizen comments? Okay, thank you. We'll move to our next item, Northwest 86th Drive update.
Good evening. Honorable members of the dais, my name is Rodolfo Valadares, and this evening we'll be discussing Northwest 86th Drive. And so to get everyone situated, here's an aerial image of our city. This is I-75 going north-south. This is 441. We are approximately right here, and as you go more east, this is Progress Park. We're talking about this segment right there. And then the next image is that area blown up. And I'll be introducing to you Northwest 86th Drive. And we'll be discussing that on April 17th, 2025, the city proudly celebrated the successful completion of this roadway. And so the event took place early morning. Weather was very, very temperate, and it's always good to see city leadership there, and it's always a delight to see you, Mr. Chair, for the event. We appreciate the support. The guest speakers were our city manager, Mike DeRosa, our director of public services, Michael Carrillo, myself, and Mitch Glazer, who has been coordinating with the county about fire station number 25. So Northwest 86th Drive is a testament to the hard work and collaboration of many dedicated individuals. The new boulevard-style roadway features streetlights, sidewalks, curbs, and aesthetic landscaping. This road will serve for the future access route to the proposed county fire station number 25. And so to our city commission, thank you for your unwavering commitment and putting the needs of Alachua first. And to our county commissioners, thank you for being an integral part to Alachua's journey to greatness and excellence. We look forward to continuing our collaboration between the city and the county in advancing our shared goals. Purpose of this presentation was just to inform, so thank you.
Thank you. Are there any citizens' comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Tamara Robbins. Well, the road is really beautiful. I drove down it the other day just because I thought to explore it. But I just want to remind the city commissioners and inform the county commissioners they didn't know this road was paid for with funds that were recovered due to a surety bond that was collected from the grow house that was there and didn't fulfill their obligations of what they were supposed to do with their development order. So the city of Alachua previously changed their LDRs to strike out the requirement for surety bonds. So I'm here to say that's a good thing, that if developers don't uphold their end of the deal and the city then recovers through a surety bond the money to satisfy the improvements to the property that the developer was supposed to do and they didn't do it, that's what paid for this road. So I encourage the city commission to revisit the requirement for surety bonds. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further citizen comments? Okay, we'll move to our next item, which is the Alachua County Fire Rescue Station 21 and 25 update. Good evening, Chief. Yes.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Mayor, Harold Theus, Chief of Alachua County Fire Rescue. Just a brief update of the activities we have in our building projects in the city of Alachua. Station 21, or Northwest 173rd Street, has been completed. We actually moved our crews in there last Thursday. We like to have a little bit of time in there for them to be there before we have our grand opening. Our grand opening will take place on May 30th. That will be the day of the ribbon cutting. It'll be 10 a.m. Right now, Mark Sexton with the communications office is working on that agenda, but y'all should be getting that within the next few days. To remind everyone, Station 21 is a 3-bay, 11,500 square foot structure. The intended use is for 50 years. It has 10 beds in it, so it's a station that is prepared for future growth if that should happen in this area, and it certainly has been happening in this area. The living quarters is about 7,000 square foot with a 4,500 square foot bay. It was a one-year project from build time, from the time they started turning the dirt until we moved in the other day. $7 million, a one-year time for a building project. The public will be thankful to know that on the next day, May 31st, we're going to have a neighborhood day, an open house for our fire station. All the community will be invited to that. We did a similar thing on Southwest 24th Avenue. To give you an idea, it was from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The construction company, DE Scorpio, provided the food. We did all the cooking. We had 600 hot dogs, and they were gone by 11:30. So it gives you an idea of how popular this event will be. I would imagine, as close-knit as the city of Alachua residents are, it'll be very well attended. We've been working with Chief Sandusky on working on how we're going to park cars and move cars. That'll be a feat for us on that day, or for them and us on that day. But we'll work together to make sure that that is a seamless and very smooth event. Our next building project that we're working on is in Tech City. We are excited about being in that area. We have a donation agreement that we are finishing up that should come before the county board the first meeting in June. And so we're very thankful for Mitch Glazer in that donation. We are working with our architect, though. We want to make sure that this station looks like Tech City and blends in with Tech City. We're really excited about the opportunity of having kind of this themed look with that environment, with San Francisco, Tech City. We want it to look like it belongs there. I believe that Mr. Glazer is also planning on having a kids' play park right next to our station that will be fire department themed. So we're really working well with the developer to make sure that this station really looks fantastic. It'll be another 3-bay station, about 11,000 square feet. Excuse me. We'll do a couple of things different in there because of the nature of Tech City and their intent of being really this sustainability station. We already have solar on our stations. This is going to be more solar. We're also working on rainwater, being able to recapture that rainwater for other uses. That is about all I have for an update. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them or from the public.
Commissioner Prizier? Wheeler?
Chief, thank you for the report. I know that Commissioner Williams would like to hear you say that the baby box is going to be in that one, too.
Thank you for reminding me of that. Mr. Chair, Mr. Mayor, I'm happy to report that we'll have a baby box at the Tech City Fire Station. Yes.
That was her request.
Yes, thank you. And we heard that loud and clear, absolutely.
And did you say the time for the 31st was 10 to 2?
10 to 2 is the 31st, Saturday, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Chief and county commissioners, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for, and especially Commissioner Wheeler, for hearing my request and hearing my, it comes from my heart. It means a lot to me to not only for us to be able to say it's the first, if I'm not mistaken, it'll be the first one in the county, and it'll be right here in our community. And I just want to, you just don't know how much it means to me. Thank you so much for making that happen.
It's the first one for the county. I believe Newberry has a baby box.
Commissioner Prizier?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chief, and thank you to Mitch Glazer for his donation to make the second station possible. I'm really excited to see us do something that is coordinating with the community as well. I think that's going to be a great amenity. I know the last time that we all got together, we had a conversation about Alachua's growth and the ladder truck and the importance of that as they begin to go vertical. I was wondering if one of these stations could accommodate a ladder truck if Alachua does decide to make that investment. Did we build one of these such that it could, or will we be building one of these such that it could accommodate a ladder truck and a team for that?
Yes, ma'am, Mr. Chair. As far as personnel and units go, the new Station 121, we transferred most all the equipment that was here to that station, and that includes a fire engine, a brush truck, a water tanker, and an ambulance. We also added a battalion chief that moved up to that station also. And that gives us that command and control for this whole northwest side of Alachua County, La Crosse, which it really takes a long time to get there from where we were previously located. And so having that here is very important. We are laying the groundwork for the growth that's going to take place. The Tech City Fire Station will be just as large as the one that we just built at Station 21. Either one of those stations can house an aerial device or a ladder truck. Right now, the Tech City Station is just a fire engine. And so I think the long-term plan on that, and we're probably a year or a year and a half from moving into that station by the time we finish the donation agreement and reach an agreement with the architecture firm to be able to update that. So probably a year and a half before we move in there. We need to look at what the EMS responses are in this area also to see if a third ambulance needs to be added at some future point in time. But I do have concerns that there needs to be an aerial device up in this area of the community with the warehouses that we have, with hoteliers now being 3-4 stories high. That's a challenge for us. Our aerial device will be coming either from the city of Gainesville, from Newberry, or from our station located on Fort Clark Boulevard, which is a delayed response when you talk about having a type of aerial rescue that needs to take place. So, short answer, either one of those stations can house a aerial device, yes.
Thank you. I conclude. I just wanted to see if that was, I remember we'd had that conversation. I know that it's something that's been on your radar. We have new commissioners, and I just wanted to make sure that we were building to accommodate. Should that be something the city is looking at investing in? Thank you.
Commissioner Cornell?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So first and foremost, Commissioners, I want to really thank the city of Alachua. High Springs and Newberry, they have their own fire department. City of Gainesville has its own fire department. We've got a fire station in Micanopy now, Hawthorne, Archer, and Waldo. But there is no greater partner in Alachua County than the city of Alachua. Back for those commissioners that are new, back in 17, 18, there was a time when we were 5 years late in implementing a fire assessment. City of Alachua stepped forward and said, you know what, we're going to support that. It was a big move by the City of Alachua. And what we said is, you know what, when we do infrastructure and when we do personnel, we're going to do it in Alachua. And you all fulfilled your kind of support back then, and we're following through with that. And it is because of the growth of this county, and of this city. Reed spoke about protecting our water. We'll talk some more about that. But you also supported the infrastructure sales tax. And as a result of that, we have funding now to protect our water. We have wild spaces, public places. We have funding now to spend $250 million in roads. And so you all have been a big partner in that. And I just want to thank you all. Mitch, in the back corner there, put your hand up for those of you who don't know Mitch. Mitch, thanks for stepping up as well. Tech City is going to be a great fire station. It's going to be in the right place, right where the master plan needs it. So thank you for that, and it's going to be unique. So I want to thank you, Mitch, personally from the dais. Ultimately, though, commissioners, I think Anna really kind of hit the nail on the head. As growth comes, it needs to pay for itself. We have citizens here that do not need to subsidize new growth. And so when you have that, you have a new commission now, when you have that opportunity to think about impact fees, recreational impact fees, infrastructure impact fees, road impact fees, that your citizens are asking you to not become South Florida, not become Orlando, and not become Tampa. I'm here to say, as an Alachua County Commissioner, your citizens are also my constituents. They hear that, and I'm doing everything in my power to make sure we do not become those cities. Nothing against those cities. That's not Alachua. That's not Alachua County. And so thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for partnering with us. Public safety is paramount to this board. I think every single year we continue to invest more and more into public safety, whether that's the sheriff or the fire department. We will continue to do that. It's a core function of county government. And you all are, and I'll just say it again, our very best partners when it comes to that, the City of Alachua. So thank you, and I love the report. I appreciate it.
Oh, I got a question. So we're doing a lot of looking at our LDRs and working on infills, so build up, not out. For a lateral truck or an aerial, as you said, I know with the, for distribution centers, being able to extend out over and hit those targeted areas, that's a real big plus on that. But for residentials or houses, what's usually like the height limit our current trucks are able to, are like kind of at that are here in Alachua? What's the height for buildings at the moment?
Yeah, so, Mr. Chair, we have, all of our fire engines have at least a 24-foot extension ladder on it. So that allows you access to a second floor window or to a rooftop in most cases. There is no requirement. We have 3-story houses and things like that. It's the commercial businesses that we get mostly concerned about. When they start going 3 and 4 stories high, making access to those for any type of elevated rescue is a challenge off of a traditional fire engine. The ladder trucks that we're talking about, very similar to what we have on Fort Clark Boulevard, which we are replacing that ladder truck in the next couple of years. It's slated to be replaced. It's at its end of life. So I've already tried to borrow it for up here and it wouldn't work. But it's we're purchasing a 100-foot aerial device that's on that ladder. It's a 100-foot ladder. The beauty of the ladder trucks that we buy, they're called Quints because they're still able to pump water as if they're a fire engine first on scene. We have to have that diversity in our community because we're not just an urban city. We have this urban, unincorporated kind of suburban area and then also this very rural response. And so our apparatus and our crews have to be cross-trained in all of those things. And so a 100-foot aerial device is what we are replacing our Quint 23 with. That would be what I would propose for up in this area. To give you an idea, it's about $2 million for that piece of apparatus today. Fire trucks have gone up tremendously over the last 4 or 5 years. And so we're looking at a $2 million investment for that. The personnel cost for a 3-person aerial device with operations and everything is about $1.7 to $1.8 million today. And so my hopes and I've met with Manager DeRosa, we've met with some of the distribution companies and had conversations with them about this very topic. My hopes is that at some point in time, the boards can reach an agreement to where the city can chip in maybe for apparatus, purchase apparatus, and some joint venture together. The county support the staffing. But if we were to order a ladder truck today, and this is one of the things that concerns me the most, we are 36 to 48 months before that ladder truck arrives in Alachua County. The build time is 3 to 4 years now. And so we're not just talking about a need, today. If we were to agree today, we're talking about a need that's 4 years down the road. And so we have to be ready. We have to be prepared for that if Alachua continues to grow the way that it is.
Thank you. Any further questions? Okay. Are there any citizen comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Tamara Robbins, and thank you to the Chief for that update. I personally prefer a fire station that's out on a main roadway. I like the location where that fire station is right now. I mean, granted, it needs to be bigger and better and all that, but to tuck it back into a curved roadway that's lined by trees and stuff, I think it's a little vulnerable back there in the event of an emergency. If you have a big storm come through, you might not be able to get those trucks out of there. And the public can't see them. So I think that the public should be able to see an emergency facility. You're driving on the road with your child, something happens, somebody needs an emergency. You can pull in, you see it, you can know there's an EMT in there or somebody that knows what they're doing to give help. So I understand that Tech City donated the land, and that's a carrot, and everybody likes that. Okay. So I spoke with the chief about this before the meeting, and the sign for that fire station right now is non-existent, so it needs to be put up, and he agreed that there's no sign on that fire station out there right now. It came down. It was like this plastic thing. So you mentioned the baby box, and I just read about that on a news headline. So the chief mentioned the price of this new fire station, and I can't remember what he said. So I'd like to know, does the baby box add a cost associated with the facility? Because I don't know how it's built, what it entails. So I'd like to know that. And also the sign that will be on 441, I'm assuming there's going to be a sign on 441 that says fire station, back in there. I would say that would have to happen. Is it going to also say there's a baby box at that fire station? Just wondering. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, I'm Sylvain Doré, and my colleague here is Yolo. Just want to mention a follow-up about the baby box. While I certainly approve, and this is important, because every human being has the dignity to find the right home, for me, I'm a bit concerned about the cost, because the initial cost is $10,000, the installation is $15,000, the lease is $200, the annual fee is $500, and then there's other costs. One example was Palm Coast, who recently installed one at $40,956. I was wondering if this is really the best place to spend our money, or we should spend also money on potentially fostering family who can adopt those kids. And I know that recently there's a lot more facilities who, including our hospitals, who welcome those babies without asking questions. So, thank you.
Thank you. Chief Diaz?
He is spot on the cost for the baby box. When I got the initial price, anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000, depending on how it's installed. The way that the baby box works is it's for a surrendered child, right? Someone that is coming in and surrendering their child anonymously. The concern or the thought behind the baby box, and there's recently some state legislation about the baby box. The thought behind it is that mothers will be more likely to turn in a baby anonymously than risk whatever, whether it's embarrassment, whether it's law enforcement, whatever that pressure may be. Anonymously surrender the baby at a fire station. The way the baby box works, it opens when there's something deposited in the box, an alarm sounds to the dispatch center to notify our crews that box has been opened. Its effectiveness, I have not measured. I have not seen it. I know that they do have them quite a bit. South Florida, Marion County is putting in baby boxes. And so I'm sure there's various opinions on its effectiveness and its thought about whether or not it's a good value. The other thing is the building project for Tech City is going to run about $7 million. I think that was a question that was asked also. The sign, I think the sign for the existing Station 25 must have come down during one of the storms. I wasn't aware of that, and I didn't notice it when I was driving up here today, but I've already sent an email for them to look into that. We will get that repaired immediately. I agree with the citizen. It'd be great to have signage on 4041 that says that there is a fire station down this road, some type of signaling there, not only to let them know that there's a station there, but also as we come out for traffic, we want there to be, people to have that notification to be aware that there's a fire engine or a fire truck coming. So,
Okay, thank you, Chief Dix. Commissioner Alfred?
How will we let the public know about the existence of the baby box? How will that be shared?
I haven't given that thought. That's a great question. And so whether a baby box sign can be added there, with the sign of the fire station, I think it's a great idea. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Dix. Okay, we'll move to our next item. Oops, Mitch, come on. Oh, I'm sorry, Mitch. Didn't want to cut you off.
Good evening, Mitch Glazer. I guess that's what I get for sitting in the back corner. One thing, welcome everyone and commissioners. It's great to see you up here. I would like to see you here every other week, actually. It'd be nice to have you. Just a couple things to round out this project. We're really, really thrilled about it as a community. Let me share with you a couple of dynamics that I think are really, really important. One, let's talk about the baby box. I'm one of 81 children. I was raised in one of the largest foster families in the country. And so I know about babies and being displaced and given up for adoption and so forth. And so when we talk about certain characteristics of our community and how to be the best neighbors we can be, I think that's an important element. And to have one in Alachua and specifically Alachua County, I think that's very, very valuable. And it certainly warms my heart to know that we're making that effort. For obvious reasons. Number two, and these are no particular order, but Tech City's, the most sustainable community in the world. It's a one of a kind. It's an 82-acre campus, completely sustainable, fully on solar. We're talking about a $15 million investment up to 4 megawatts of power. Last year alone, we overpowered our community by over a third of 1 million kilowatts, as an example. And everything else was run on solar at San Francisco Tech City. And it's great to see this most eco-friendly fire station possibly in the country actually being built. It's a great way to think and get people to advance the conversation about how this is going to be the fire station of the future. And so I'm really super excited about that. Rounding out the elements of San Francisco Tech City and some of the components that make it important. One is we are coming in for phase 5, which is adjacent to this project as well. We met with city staff last week. And we're certainly excited about a small CrossFit gym that's coming there, and then the swimming pool, the volleyball, the tennis, the pickleball, the grilling stations and so forth are also going to be there. And this is how you do a community. This is how a developer should be developing for those kinds of assets within the development itself. And so we're certainly very excited about that. Half-mile jogging trail adjacent to the fire station as well with 11 workout stations because we know the firefighters need to be at their best. And so we've collaborated with the county not only on design but also on functionality about what makes a good partnership, what makes a good feel, and what makes it embracing to the community and so forth. And lastly, the donation. I never thought twice about it. I actually put this on the table for you. When you look at public facilities, you need to look for partners to make those donations. This fire station is very valuable to the community, and I saw that need. And quite honestly, giving up an acre of an 82-acre campus, while it's worth a lot today because of the infrastructure that I personally put in, it on the front end was actually not as big a contribution as one would think, and it was an easy thing to do. But one last thing, just when you think about locations and so forth, you don't put a fire station on Main Street Disney, right? So think about the value of a proposition of real estate as it stands. The fire stations don't have to be on your corners. They don't have to be front and center. I do agree that they need to be visible. I do not disagree with that at all. But they don't have to be in the high cost pieces of property in your community. And anyways, we're super, super thrilled to be a part of this project. And I appreciate the kind comments. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mitch. Okay. Yes? Well, we got two. Ladies first.
Good evening. My name is Velma Roca. I moved recently 2 years ago in the city of Alachua. Regarding the concerns of one of the residents about the baby box, I was born and raised in Dominican Republic. Sometimes we call it the third world country or banana republic, whatever you want to call it. There's a bunch of mothers, low income, that they need to surrender their babies. There is a situation there where babies are stolen directly from the hospitals for human trafficking. So they don't, the safest place that they drop off, that hardest word, their children is in the fire stations. They feel safe. They feel the kids are in the good hands, and the children are not going to be sold, their organs or anything. We are blessed to live in the United States, that we have a system, that the children somehow are protected. I came from Miami, Florida, where we have a lot of scandals of foster homes killing children or mistreat them or rape them. So leaving a child in a fire station, they're not going to be judged, and they're going to be in the best hands because they put their lives for us out there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, good afternoon again, Rudy Rothside, and thank you all. There's an opportunity to show some appreciation, and I have many friends that are on the fire department, and I hear many stories and many things that they do, and I just want to applaud the men and women that do put themselves out there and put themselves in line. It's a very not always rewarding job, very difficult things I hear that have going on, and the support and the new facilities for them to allow them to have some, because many of them they're on call. They're there for so many hours. They're giving up their most valuable thing they can give somebody, their time, to their family, right? They are not home with their son and their daughter. They're not home with their wife, and sometimes it's a monetary decision. Sometimes it's a I want to help decision. But just to have that appreciation for them is a wonderful thing, and to provide new facilities for them that in turn protects us is a wonderful thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further citizen comment? Okay, we move to our next item is the Alachua Learning Academy.
Mr. Chair, it was upon my request.
Okay.
To put this. Alachua Learning Academy, as y'all know, is up on North 235. And for a few years now, it's been brought to my attention, and I know to Commissioner Wheeler's attention at least, and I don't know about anyone else, that there's no school zone on that road for that school. And that road, the speed limit, I don't want to misspeak. Chief, is the speed limit on that road 65? 55? Excuse me. Okay, 55. And it's a well-traveled road, as y'all know. not just by cars, but by 18-wheelers. And there's there's been major and serious accidents on the up there in that area, including one of your fellow commissioners' family members was in a very serious accident. So I recognize the fact that part of the road, and I don't know which part, but I know that I was told part of the road is county, part of the road is DOT. So my request is to discuss putting a school zone there, and however we have to make it happen, whether it's a partnership between, it's not in the city limits, which is where I get my hands tied. But we have so many of our residents' children that attend school there that I'm appealing to you as the county and to DOT, of course. What can we do? Can we all work together? We really need a school zone there. And what that looks like, of course, we can develop that, but we need at least the speed slowed down. We need flashing lights. At this point, I'm open to all suggestions, but something needs to happen, and it needs to happen very soon up there. I'm really concerned, as I know Commissioner Wheeler is, about the next serious accident that is potentially going to happen. So I come to you appealing for, I'm offering for the city to help facilitate partnership between DOT and the county and whatever we can do, even though it's not in our limits. Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Wheeler?
Yes, thank you. I am concerned about this one. We are now working with DOT on this. We have the video that you all helped me acquire, and Kaya Brown with Florida Department of Transportation is expecting that. She's very concerned about it as well. She's going to be working with us very closely in the county with our transportation now, our MTPO. We're countywide, and she knows that this is coming, and she knows that this is something that we are all concerned about on that roadway. So it's coming, and the sheriff at one point had committed to making sure that that was surveyed or monitored a little more closely. I think that happened for a little while right after the incident that you're referring to happened.
Yes, ma'am.
But then it has not been. And there's it's a freeway for the trucks going through there for sure.
Yeah.
And it does need to be dealt with. And I've spoken to the principal out there as well. And of course, they're all very concerned. There's two schools, not only the Learnings, but also the Krishna School.
The Krishna School, yeah.
That's right. So we're working on it. We're working on it so far.
I appreciate that. I don't want to speak on behalf of my other commissioners, and certainly that'll be something I'll ask them in a different meeting. But I mean, I will ask my other commissioner. I don't, maybe we can, if it helps, a letter of support to DOT. Something to show that we are also, just as adamant about this as the county is. We'll if it's just me as a city commissioner writing a letter or having to have conversations, I'm offering absolutely 100% for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I would
Vice Mayor Brown.
fully support that. Many of the citizens here remembers Robert Sharp, and his mother was killed on that road years ago. Commissioner Chestnut knows that our Alachua County Remembrance Project has a historical marker on that road. And when you're out there, those trucks, I mean, they are flying around that curve. It is so dangerous. And I just can't imagine during school hours what's happening. So I am fully committed to support and help in any way that we can. Thank you.
I'll second that for sure.
Any further discussions to the Alachua Learning Academy and the school zone sign? Commissioner Wheeler?
This will be discussed too at our next meeting. the MTPO meeting to, all right, I'm going to ask that we do that. Thank you.
All right. That concludes that item. Our next item is public comments, general public comments. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Asia Eichbeller, and I'm a resident here in Alachua. I live in Pilot Grove, and I wanted to inquire about the scope and nature of the development that is on 235 right going north between Pilot Grove and 235A. I'm concerned as well about the danger of all the truck traffic and the conditions of the road there and how that might be affected.
I don't know if there's any staff members. Okay. Commissioner Cornell is suggesting that we take your comment and then afterwards have staff.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Soria Lindberg. I'm excited to be at this special commission crossover event tonight. It's my first one.
Welcome.
Thank you. So I am here to talk about something that unites us all no matter where we are or what part of the boundary we live in, and that is access to public discussions that affect our community. So I had my first county meeting last week. It was really nice because when I left early on my way home, I could listen to it in the car. And by the way, county commissioners, I thought it was super cool. You did some troubleshooting on the spot for the residents who had a concern about the quality of their private road. You took questions, you found a solution. That, to me, as a citizen that sits here, it's just pure magic. So, and I'm sure they really appreciate it, as anyone would. So back to access about public meetings. We can hear county meetings from our homes or cars, but that's not the case right now for city meetings. And I know I'm the new kid on the block here. So, so if there's something we've explored before, can we do something to explore it again? I wonder, like, can the AV experts from the county come and show what their best practices are? Can some hours be rearranged to support it, or hire a contractor for this kind of thing? And I know streaming is only half of this because the other part that's very important is public comment. The county does this over the phone, and there's so many people who want to come to these meetings, but they have barriers. Physical accessibility, transportation, illness, they can't find a babysitter, their kid has a game. So there's all the things that get there. With the love I have for the city and wanting people to be involved, I recently started posting city agendas on groups on Facebook. So it's like, here's what's going on, please come talk, how's it going? So now people are messaging me and they're like, hey, what happened last night? How's the vote? What's this? Like, I'm not that person for that. I'm just a regular person that lives down the road. I'm not elected. I'm not staff. I'm very comfortable with my job. So, and so I just direct them to the city website, city contact. So, and even a mom this morning, she was like, why is Alachua Learning Academy on the agenda? And I was like, I don't see anything on the website. Maybe you can call. She goes, I couldn't find a Zoom meeting. And I was like, well, they don't have one, but, you know, I'll message you later and see what happens. So I'm just wondering, what can we do? Like, is there some kind of motion, some kind of collaboration? Can you help the people who really want to come see what's going on and have that bit of participation too? So with 30 seconds left, thank you, Commissioner Cornell, for bringing up how important impact fees are to the citizens here, because there's lots of people here wondering, like, so many things are being built. We do not have fees as far as I'm aware. Again, I don't work here. I'm not elected. Road segment D from 441 to 235A is a D, and now we might have a Chick-fil-A. We might have a Chipotle. People are going to cross that road. It's going to get worse. So I'm really concerned about traffic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I saw Commissioner Cornell like twice in 24 hours one day. I've been here 6 months in Alachua County, 25 years in Orange County, 18 years in Duval County, and this is the best place. I never went to a meeting before anywhere I lived. I only voted when I had to, but I'm fired up. I joked with City Manager DeRosa one day. I was like, this is my sports team. I will tailgate. I will wear the shirt. I will talk to people about it. I just love this place. And I don't have the answer for anything, but I try to ask questions to figure things out for the rest of us. So thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening again, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Velma Roca again. I'm a resident of Alachua, a mother, a community advocate, and someone living with ADHD and Asperger. I am here to respectfully ask the city to begin some way the live streaming commission meetings with closed captioning. I am asking this because the city needs to improve accessibility in order to protect the City Hall from a potential ADA Act lawsuit. Captions are essential for residents with hearing loss, neurological disabilities, like mine, or sensory sensitivities who can't attend in person. Platforms like YouTube and Meebo offer affordable tools, and I am happy to help identify the best options. Under the Americans with Disabilities Act, public meetings must be accessible to all. Captioned broadcasts are a simple, inclusive step toward that goal. Thank you for your time and for considering this important request.
Thank you again, all of you. My name's Tamara Robbins. In contrast to Surya's being the new kid on the block, I am one of the old kids on the block. That would be me. So it's awesome to have two other speakers touch on the live streaming of the meetings. That was one of my notes. And I know the county had a challenge in the past with the ADA compliance, and you guys came through that. And as Surya said, I've done the same thing where either come to a meeting or I'm listening to it on my way when I'm driving, so I'm up to speed when I zoom into your meetings or something, which has been a while. So really, it is time to live stream the meetings of the City of Alachua. It's time to post the videos of the meetings in a timely manner, like the next day or soon thereafter. We have quite the setup here to be able to do that. And that the archives of the meetings from the past, further back from 2000, and further back, when they were video recording them. We used to video recording them. When I was elected in 2001, we were video recording them and posting them the next day for by choice access. That stopped. That is like going backwards in accessibility and access for the public to be able to access what's going on. So I want to see the city really get on that. Another thing I'd like to have the county, Mr. Chair, if someone could clarify. So a couple of years ago, the state allowed the posting of legal notices to be done digitally. And you guys have this great portal on your open page, and it's public notices, and they're right there. And I think the city of Newberry utilizes that service. And so if I remember correctly, you created that portal. And if a local municipality, one of the other sister municipalities, wants to utilize that service for the posting of their legal notices, it's free of charge, I think. I just want to get clarification on that. And what it could do is save the City of Alachua advertising money in the newspaper, because honestly, the Main Street Daily News qualifies as a newspaper of general circulation, so the city should go out to bid. If you're going to do hard copy advertising, you should not be doing it just in the Alachua Today. You should be doing it you should be checking other opportunities. But I say, so I'm asking the county if someone could clarify that service. I think the city should utilize that. It's a free of charge, and it is available instantly with a click. Thank you.
Good evening.
Hey, good evening, everybody. My name is Jason Sweat. I'm the president and founder of SwampBots Robotics, and I have with me a couple of our participants. This is Grayson and Micah and Emily. Thank you for having us tonight. We are a local youth robotics and STEM organization that brings STEM education to kids of the rural communities. And we started 3 years ago. with just 3 teams and 21 kids. And this past season, we had 21 teams and over 100 kids being served and participated in our program. And with that, one of our teams has finished in the top 3 in the state out of over 650 teams for the last 3 years in a row and been invited to international competitions. And thank you, yes. In fact, they just returned back from South Africa last week where they competed against 75 teams from around the world and finished 28th.
Wow.
And most of those teams are
Great.
16 and 17-year-olds. So super proud of what they've done, super proud of what they've accomplished. We believe that, we're changing kids and opening doors for their futures. We always say we're not using kids to build robots, we're using robots to build kids. And we're here tonight to say thank you, because everything we do is through the support of our partnerships with the City of Alachua, Parks and Recs, our local businesses, and we couldn't do it without you guys. In fact, we have hosted the regional championship at Legacy Park for the last 2 years, where we've brought in over 5,000 participants and spectators to our community for 2-day events, and it's been probably, Damon can correct me, I think probably one of the largest events outside of the 4th of July that they've hosted at Legacy Park. And we bring people from all over North Central Florida. So thank you to the City of Alachua for your continued commitment and support and partnership of what we're doing for the kids of our community, and to our local businesses, business partners, Waste Pro, Children's Trust of Alachua County, huge supporters, MIAPA, Good Life Station, just to name a few. And that being said, we're super excited. MIAPA is having their grand opening later next month. Date will be released here soon, very soon. And we're super thankful and excited to announce that they'll be donating a portion of the proceeds from their grand opening to continued support of Swamp Bots and to changing the lives of these kids throughout our community. So to all of you guys and to all of our supporters out here, thank you so much for everything that you do for the kids, because that's what this is all about. So that's what we want to do, is just say thank you.
Mr. Chair, may I? Mr.
Vice Mayor Brown.
Sweat, children, come back.
You're not done yet. Sorry.
I just want to say thank you for taking the time to come and share that. Kids, thank you for being here tonight to represent your teams. You are amazing. I taught for 38 years, so kids are my passion. So when I see kids, I'm going to say something. Keep doing great things. And what I'm hearing tonight, I know it's going to continue. So thank you again. Let's give them another 8.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And Mr. Chair and Commissioners, they're on social media. I would encourage you to go and like their page and follow them along. Whoever's running it is doing really well, and lots of pictures from their South Africa trip. And it was just exciting to watch and follow them along on the whole time. So definitely find them on social media, and congratulations again. You guys knocked it out of the park, and I can't wait to see what you do in the upcoming years.
Good evening. Good evening, Chair. My name is Peter Inigo, owner and founder of MIAPA Latin Cafe. And just wanted to really say that spending here an hour and a half listening to citizens of Alachua County and everyone makes me so proud to be part of this community. So many people involved, so many people just diehard fans of this county or this city to work and do great. And we, having now almost been 13 years in this city, couldn't be more excited to get a new store here real soon. Getting together with Damon and what they do over at Legacy Park, and with the support of the city, the fact that we can get a restaurant family owned to be involved at a great cause like the Swamp Dot, it's just very honored. And we would be real soon announcing a date as we get closer to this opening, and hopefully we get a lot of you out there, and we'll donate to support a great cause and a great community. Thank you so much.
Members of the dais, good evening. Damon Messina, City of Alachua, Rec and Culture Department. I was debating on whether I get up. I didn't want to ruin it because it went very well. Just a few things that, the Children's Trust really came through with them in the beginning about 3 years ago. We partnered with the City of High Springs as well. It just shows that's really good public-private partnership, and and as well as the kids do, it's great to see, like Jason Sweat. Jason Sweat, several years back, he was the president of our baseball organization for several years, and he just went completely opposite and became the president of Swamp Bots. It's quite a story in its own, but the volunteers, what they do, and that's how we thrive as a recreation and culture department. And of course, Freddie Weeby, what he's done I've known him for 20 years. It's amazing. He just keeps producing and he keeps coming back to the city. So really kudos to him. And Peter, he's been doing a great job for the last 13 years. He contributes so much towards the youth in our community, whether it's even for the Relay for Life as well, but for sponsorships, et cetera, whatever we need. So just, it just makes me proud, and to see how we can do that partnership working together. So again, I just appreciate what they've been doing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further citizen comments?
Hello, Sylvain Doré. Just a few points that I would like to follow up. One was about the school zone. I noticed that this issue is happening at many places. It's happening at Hawthorne. Many people are complaining over there. It happened in Gainesville. I was president of the faculty senate. We had a student killed by a car, although the speed limit is 20. And with that, what we work with the Department of Transportation and with the city and the county, and at least for a certain period of time, we had speed bumps. They were temporary. So I just want to mention if that could be an option. Number two, in terms of an important issue that is happening right now in the state is there's discussion of eliminating the property tax. And there's a message by the governor that we should call our representatives to support cancellation or reduction of the property tax. But I think you are in the best seats to explain to people how important is the property tax. And instead of reacting, we should be proactive, because right now they have not finalized a budget, and I think it would be nice to contact all of our representatives, and I think everyone in the audience should do that. In terms of this meeting, and I think having people also, for me it's important to increase visibility, because not many people have always the chance to come at the right time, the right place. I think it would be good also to let people ask questions. Potentially it can be ahead of time to eliminate some issues, because there's been some issues when they try that in other places. But if they submit questions ahead of time, that could be helpful. And finally, in response to the citizen over there, I've taken the Citizen Academy class in Gainesville, and I believe there's already there's one in Ocala, and potentially you guys can follow the model by Gainesville. It's an amazing academy. Anyone can register, and you learn everything about what the city has to offer, what the county has to offer, and it was illuminating all the right box for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, good evening. Rudy Rothstein here. Again, thank you very much. I had the opportunity to play baseball and grow up with Jason. He was a catcher, which is probably the toughest position you could ever imagine on the baseball field. And from that position, you have to be a leader. And I've had the opportunity this past couple years, seasons, to coach a few of his kids. And all of them have the grit and determination that he does, and I'm very proud to be a part. But it's really special to me. That's about just from my perspective of that story is, this is a local product, right? This is someone that grew up here, went to our schools, grew up going to our public schools, played in our sports programs, and there's nothing better than seeing something like that being paid back. He has being able to come back into our community, stay in our community, and promote wonderful things for our kids and values, and I really appreciate that, and I just want to echo my appreciation for him and his family. At a previous meeting, we were going over some budget with the city of Alachua, and I was, one of our commissioners brought up the idea, was questioning about a new well that was dug here in the city of Alachua, and where were the funds that came from that. And the funds, from what I stood in the conversations, came from, I don't know what it's called, the COVID money. What is that referred to as? Whatever, I don't know the exact term. And I'm just curious to know if the county got kind of COVID money and what they spent their money on, and to understand, where that type of money typically might go. If, is it, from what I've gained from it, is that money went towards a new well in our city to help promote growth. And that is a wonderful thing. It's another straw into our drinking well, our drinking aquifer. And growth is good and can be really good. And I really support communities that are sustainable, like Mitch Glazer is doing. I think that's a wonderful thing. Solar is wonderful. But I just am curious on where the county has spent some of those type of funds, and thank you.
Further citizen comments? Good evening.
Good evening, commissioners, city commissioners, and county commissioners. My name is Michelle Lee. I'm the owner of Good Life Station. I also serve on the boards of the Alachua Chamber and the Alachua Business League. Thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate your collaboration here with the city. We're excited about a lot of new things. If you haven't visited our Smart City Cafe, Good Life Station, during the day we highlight the events in our history and our local businesses. And after hours, we actually have workshops to support our entrepreneurs and give them the resources and information that they need. The Alachua Business League is also, I would like to let you know that we're partnering with the city and Josh's Place on a grant proposal for downtown concert series. We're excited about a potential to bring live music, farmers markets, and responsibly enjoyed beverages to Main Street, because we believe Main Street is the heart of our thriving city. I'm also proud to share that last week I had the honor of presenting scholarships at our 2025 Education Foundation Awards on behalf of Optimal Station and the Women's Club, alongside of Reagan Potts and Edwards Jones, as well as on behalf of the Alachua Business League. It was an inspiring evening where our community came together and we awarded over $600,000 to our local youth. So I was just really honored that so many people here from Alachua City were there represented. We're also encouraged by the continued conversations around our ordinance exemption, and hopeful and thoughtful on updates will bring all kinds of types of businesses that align and are shared with our vibrant vision for a walkable downtown. So any updates on those options would be greatly appreciated. And again, I just want to thank you for your time and your ongoing commitment. I am also on the Alachua team, so anything I can do, I wear that jersey regularly. So thank you for all you do, Alachua.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mitch Glazer again, San Francisco Tech City. I wanted to also bring some really, really great news and a wonderful announcement tonight. And so I would say about 9 months ago or so, we were approached by Siemens, one of the most innovative and forward-thinking leading companies in the world. I believe they're 176 years old. really driven by sustainability around the globe, excuse me. And so we were approached about them actually locating one of their regional facilities at San Francisco Tech City, primarily based on the kind of community we are. And we were able to strike a deal. And so we started that construction October 17th. And a week ago, they started moving in. So just under 7 months, this community working together, we're able to attract that kind of company and the kinds of jobs that are going to locate right here in this community. So we're super excited to announce today that Siemens has officially landed in San Francisco Tech City. They're up and running, and we just wanted to give a big shout out. Thank you for all you're doing with your leadership, with, of course, the staffs that we're working with as well, and really leading the way and doing wonderful things together. Thank you all very, very much.
Congratulations. Thank you. Any further?
Good evening. Thank you all for being here. I have a simple request, and I feel bad now because everyone has such great stories. And I'm a small business owner. I've been in business for 9 years here on Main Street, 1 year in Ocala, Florida, previously for 8 years. We just absolutely love Alachua, living here. So it is my new home. On the last meeting here, or not the co-meeting, of course, with both of you, I spoke about condoning a change to our alcohol ordinance. And then I also kind of hinted to earmarking some of the budget dollars to specifically closing the block of road on our Main Street that our old theater park is on. I'm extremely passionate about this initiative. I feel like it will solve so many issues, and especially with new innovative companies coming in, Main Street is the heart and soul of our town. And so if we don't take care of it and grow it, then it's going to be that infrastructure that falls through for all the outside growth. So with all the extra added events that we've been working on, I think we should start the process, whatever that process may be, to engage in permanently closing that block off so we can have a safe space and permanent space for weekly farmers markets. We can host art walks. We can attract fine arts shows for our community. We can host those free local concerts and not have to worry about our kids running around and running in the street. And we have space. We have a cool space, a community space right around Good Life Station, who's also a community hub right there in the middle. We're renovating the old theater park, spending a ton of money on that, and it's going to be absolutely gorgeous, but there's no reason to take it a step further to really give our citizens and community something else. So with that, I'm asking our commission, local commission, and also the county, since you guys I know have started that, to please give any advice on how we should proceed to do that. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I know she's going to be asked, but could you state your name for the record?
Of course, Mandy Bucci, owner of the Mustard Seed Collection on Main Street.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's Julie Smith. I'm owner of High Springs What's Happening. Recently, I spoke at the county meeting for the new alcohol ordinance that you guys put into play. I would like for you guys to explain to a lot of the citizens what that entailed and that y'all did pass it. It allows the county, businesses that are within the county that do make their own home brew, able to sell it on site. I believe that in 2 weeks we'll be in front of the city of High Springs for their brewery. The city of Alachua downtown is having their own battle with being able to new businesses like the Good Life Station who want to sell wine and different alcohol because of the close proximity to churches downtown, which have basically talked to them and said they don't mind. It's more the ordinances that are in place that are prohibiting them, not the churches that are okay with it. So they're kind of in their own battle, I would say, with being able to be allowed that. So I would ask that you guys briefly explain to them what did pass and it was a 5-0 vote. And for that, the SIP and 7, it went around the county, and I believe it was 16,000 hits. People checked in at the 7 breweries, and we have Daft Cow. Tech City was one of those involved in that, the High Springs Brewery. So we do have a big stake in that, in this area, as far as bringing ecotourism revenue here for these small businesses. And I hope that you guys are leading the way in the change coming our way. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Any further public comment? If not, we're going to close the public comments. I took some notes, I guess. Pilot Grove, 235A. I don't know if anyone can address that issue for the lady that spoke in reference to
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
they really need you to talk into the microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I told you I have that problem. I think the first item was Pilot Grove, 235A. Is there any person can address that issue for
Mr. Chair,
the lady
I
that spoke?
kind of missed the question itself, but I believe that the development that the person was referring to, it was on 235 between, I believe is it Pilot Forest and 235A. And so the original development that had been ongoing was Savannah Station. And there's 3 phases of a new development that's right next to it. It's called Fletcher Trace. Like I said, I think that was the question, but I just wanted to make sure I answered that.
Okay, I'm not sure, so I'm not familiar with the manager, so I hope that answered her question. I don't know if she left or not. Oh, she's there. All right. I guess the other one was the access to meetings for the city of Alachua. I guess I turn it over to you, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, we have an item coming up on our regular commission meeting that's following this meeting immediately that is committed to exploring ways to improve community engagement. So there's that. The young lady that spoke about ADA compliance, that was the issue of live streaming prior to my administration. But that is something that we're entering budget season. I know that there's a lot of request and demand for that, and I'll be looking for direction from the commission on that. There are some other sister cities that utilize Facebook Live or even YouTube. We explored both of those avenues, and they only guaranteed up to a certain percentage of accuracy with the closed captions, and that doesn't meet ADA standards. And so if the city of Alachua is to take that direction, we need to be fully compliant with those ADA standards.
Okay. And I think the last one I heard was the ordinance.
Mr.
Sorry.
Chair.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Commissioner Fletcher.
Yeah, that's my agenda item. I forgot the great title I gave it. It was on transparency and engagement. But I believe that left us enough wiggle room to actually talk about live streaming and ADA compliance for our agenda for our city meeting. So we'll be talking about that now. Definitely.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I think the other one was, I heard someone talk about an ordinance about beer breweries and stuff like that.
Mr. Chair, I'll take that one as well.
Okay.
At our last commission meeting, the commission directed city staff to explore options on just what that would entail as far as an alcohol ordinance. I know that staff is working on that now. I don't know if they're prepared for an update at this meeting, but certainly one in the very near future.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Manager. I guess the other item was the COVID funding for the county. I guess I'll turn to our manager.
Mr. Chair, there were a lot of things that we spent COVID funding. We received CARES Act funds in the very beginning, 30-some million in CARES Act funds, and then we received ARPA money. Then we received ERAP funds to the tune of 30-some million. So we have a lot of projects that were undertaken as well as are still ongoing. It'd be hard to sit here and list them all, but we can try to get all those together and put them out somewhere for the public, but we have in various forms throughout the last 5 years put out information on those projects. But the county, as well as some of the municipalities, also received funding with CARES and ARPA as well. So we received a lot of funding during that process. It's all been allocated, though, in different forms. Maybe not all completely spent, but it's all been allocated.
I mean, he asked for examples. I think a great example, I mean, like one example is we've set aside money to do broadband internet across the entire county and to connect areas that hadn't previously been connected so that they'd have better access to information, emergency information online, and just be able to have that connectivity. Another example was emergency utilities assistance. So we supported people who were struggling with rent and utilities during COVID because of not being able to go to work. And so we were paying rent and utilities for those individuals that qualified and reviewing those. We also did a lot of public safety reimbursement to ourselves for all of the funding that we had to do and the extra emergency calls and vaccination clinics and things like that that we were doing. So those are some examples of the sorts of things that we did, just if that gives you any sense of some of the ways the money was spent.
And just to add 2 cents to it, at our last meeting on Tuesday, we had Windstream to come and talk about the internet in the rural areas in terms of getting that access to those folks in the rural areas. So we're moving forward with that in the county. Just want to make those comments. Now, I hope I addressed most of them that I wrote down. And I think that was it. I think
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I have an answer for one of the ones that came early from
Okay.
Ms. Robbins about the
Legal
bypass that we were talking about
bypass.
originally. Yes, sir. That bypass, I put Mayor Cooper in touch with David Tyler from DOT. They got together, they looked at Peggy Road as a possibility to have another access to I-75 without having to go through 235A up north. We were hoping to be able to come up with something that would happen to take those trucks off sooner. But evidently, there were some concerns about having exits or off-ramps so close together that it wouldn't work that way. So our group, our Public Works, did put no trucks on a lot of our roads in the county to try to keep some of those bigger trucks off of the smaller roads. I know 235A also is a route that our ag trucks leave to, so our local farmers use those roads as well. So we weren't trying to penalize our bigger, our ag trucks, but at the same time, we would like very much to make sure that our distribution centers understand what they're doing to our back roads and the folks that are using them in competition too with those ag trucks. So it didn't, we followed through, we got the information that we needed, but they didn't feel like that it was feasible for that route. Now, there might be some other routes that we could look at, but that one didn't work. Thank you.
Okay, I think the other item was posting legal notices.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we utilize the portion of state statute that now allows us to post public notices online, and we do offer that availability to the other municipalities and government entities within the community. I know we have some that have started using that.
Okay. All right. So that is available.
It is available.
Okay. Thank you. All right, we'll move to any county commission comments. Commissioner Wheeler?
I do. Welcome, new Commissioner Fletcher. Mr. Mayor, I haven't had a chance to meet you yet, but welcome to the gang. I would like to say that, as a representative for this area up here, I've really enjoyed working with Alachua, and I haven't really worried about you guys much because you're off and running. And the one concern that I do have, though, is that there's all these wonderful things that are going on that we don't know about often. And we don't have the opportunity to brag on the swamp bots that we could have had. Commissioner Williams is now on our TDC, our tourist development, and Economic Development Board. So I'm hoping that she's going to be able to bring forth the information that you all know that we haven't been able to share through the county or statewide, and through that mechanism. So I just am real excited to hear all of these things that are going on, but often we don't hear them until we get here. So I would like very much to make sure, and I'll be coming more, Commissioner Williams, now that so that I realize that a lot of that's on me. So I will be coming here personally to hear what's happening here so I can go back and share it with our board. But I would encourage any of you all who have concerns about what's happening in the community that you think that we need to hear about, or that you would like to share the wonderful things that are happening, come downtown. We don't hear many people from Alachua come to the county, but that, I think, is a result of you all being able to handle things locally in a way that makes you feel good about what you're doing, and that you don't really need what we have to offer except for moral support and cheering from the sidelines. So thank you very much for having us here. This is where we hear the good stuff for sure, but share it so we can share it throughout the county and the state. These kids going to South Africa, good gracious, how did we not know that? You know, okay, that's on you. But thank you all very much, and welcome to the new board members. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, thank you all for being here, and thanks for such an active community coming out to share your thoughts and ideas with us. It's really great to get to meet some of the business owners in this community. Some of you, I'm a longtime fan of Miapa. I eat at your restaurant all the time, and I really love how much you give back to community and for your commitment to sustainability, shifting away from styrofoam and making that commitment. So thank you for everything you've done. And to the other businesses, I'll definitely come and visit and check you all out. So I think on the phone, comments, calls, whatever, I just wanted to say, I know our staff did struggle a lot kind of figuring all of that out, and I'm sure they have lots of lessons learned that could save you all time, and I'm sure Mark would be willing to share his lessons learned on that. But I will say the phone calls, they might sound a little scary at first, like allowing that, and, you know, but it really has been great because, like they said, it gives more access to people who otherwise couldn't make it to the meetings, and it hasn't been abused. It hasn't been overwhelming. It really hasn't been, you know, when we first did it, we were like, oh gosh, this might be a Pandora's box, but it really hasn't been. You know, we usually have a couple calls a day, and we only do it one time, you know, a day in our meetings, and it's been fine. So just wanted to share that experience with you. To the Swamp Bots, I don't know if they've already left, but congratulations. Really amazing work with our youth. Thank you for that. We need more things that youth can do, especially older youth in our community. So love to learn from you. Think about how we can expand what you're doing around the county. There's so many places where kids are looking for something positive to do that can help their future and be fun. So thank you for that. I look forward to chatting with you more. And just a general thank you to the Your Commission for the commitment to water quality, to the commitment for thinking about our water, thinking about our roads, thinking about the ways in which we can be collaborative partners. I hope we can continue on that journey together, thinking about how to be a place that takes growth seriously, but also takes it responsibly and really thinks about the resources that we rely on to be here on this planet, and the fact that we have to be stewards of that growth long after the developers who put it in the ground are gone. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. I'll echo the comments of my other commissioners. It's been a pleasure to be here. In preparation for this meeting, I spent an afternoon in Alachua last week and had dinner here, and spent an hour over at Tech City visiting with Mitch Glazer and seeing where the new Siemens facility is going in. And it's a lovely community full of lovely people, and I'm never sad that I visited Alachua. And thank you. Thank you for having a great community. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for being involved and caring about your community. And thank you for caring about the rest of the county as well. So I look forward to our next visit. And I haven't been as chatty as I normally am in meetings. I've got a bit of a scratchy throat today. But so if I don't shake your hand after the meeting, please don't take it personally. All right. And y'all have a great evening.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's been a great meeting. Really appreciate everybody. You know, Jason, just great job. I've had the thrill of being on the Children's Trust, and so, you know, Swamp Bots is one of the best programs that the Children's Trust has the opportunity to be a part of. You know, third in the state's no joke. State of Florida is the 13th largest country in the world. So third in the state's no joke, and 28th in the world is just great. You all have an amazing community with amazing citizens. You know, I'll just name some names from tonight: Jason, Freddie, Peter, you know, Mitch, Reed, Soya, Michelle, Thelma, Tamara, Mandy. I mean, this community is really is an amazing community, and you know, any opportunity you all can to engage and increase the access to these folks makes the city of Alachua that much better. You know, some of our best ideas, I'll say, come from the citizens when we're sitting up on the dais, and I heard so many of them tonight. You know, your commitment to protecting the water quality. I mean, the Mill Creek sink is a big deal. You know, we're an affected party. Thank you for acknowledging that. You know, we have an interest in that, county-wide interest in that, and you all get to determine the type of community that your citizens ask you to build. You know, it's your comp plan. It's your LDRs. You know, Commissioner Fletcher, welcome to the commission. I heard you say build up, not out. You know, that's called not creating sprawl. That's good for your citizens because it costs a lot of money when you have a sprawling community that you have to provide infrastructure to. I've heard impact fees come up tonight. You know, asking developers from out of state or from out of the county to have development pay their fair share and not have your existing citizens subsidize that growth. That's what our citizens want. You know, that's smart government, and I just am really happy to hear some of the comments today, and look forward to working with you all, helping you all, listening to you all, learning from you all. You know, use the county as a resource. You know, we don't get a lot from the state of Tallahassee. Sometimes we do, but we're your resource. And so if you need help with public notices, and we can do that, and it's no plug in. Let us do that. When it comes to, you know, the Pincusson Spring, put that in your budget, and, you know, we'll be there for you. You know, people talk about all the good ideas, but the commissions fund their priorities. So every budget cycle, you have a chance to listen to your communities, listen to your constituents, and redo your budget. And so there's a new commission now. I love the folks that are not new as well. I've worked with each of them over the many years, but a couple of new people can really change it. I know it did when these two beautiful ladies came on the board in 2020. We did a whole strat plan, and a lot changed. I mean, a lot changed. Roads, so on and so forth. So, thank y'all for having us. Thanks for a great meeting tonight, and most of all, you know, the citizens that are participating in the meeting. Thank you all. Okay, I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Cornell. First, I'd like to congratulate Mayor Welch and Commissioner Fletcher on your election. And I also want to thank the citizens for coming out tonight to participate. I really enjoyed your questions and asking for information. I think that's what makes government function, to hear comments and concerns from citizens. And I hope that most of your questions were answered tonight to the best of our ability. And also, again, thank you for having us. And then I'll turn it over to the mayor for city commissioners' comments. So thank you.
I want to thank you all for coming. I'm learning.
That's all right. Commissioner Williams, they want to start with you.
Again, yes, absolutely. I thought this was a fantastic meeting. Thank y'all for coming and doing this joint meeting with us. I think that as a city, Commissioner Cornell stated, I mean, we have always tried as a city to work with, partner with the county I know that staff has a really good rapport with your county staff, and I'm very thankful for that. And I know working with County Manager Lieberman has always been a pleasure. This is what you saw tonight, the engagement of our community. That's welcome to Alachua. That's how this is out here. Yes, my bad for not telling you all about the swamp bots. I take that on. I try to remember to bring things to y'all, but I wear a few hats, and I have to remember. I need to get that. So I will continue to try to on the TDC and Economic Development Board. I will start bringing Commissioner Wheeler more information to you. I promise. But I always enjoy these meetings. Thank you. And I won't say any more because we have another meeting after this. I just want to point that out.
It's okay. It's okay. We were prepared. Again, I want to say thank you. I think it was a great meeting. I love our engagement all the time. We mentioned some citizens, but I will say I also had my feet in the water with my family over the weekend and reflected on some of the things and in our county. And moving forward, I think a lot of us are thinking in different directions, and I think that's exciting. I think the input from our citizens and elections and what's going on, I think it's very, very important to hear everything and to listen and to understand. So again, thank you for everybody that came here tonight. I think some of the things we got to really push and move in directions full force. So thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Fletcher.
All right, you'll have to bear with me as this is my first joint comment on this one. I guess I'll start off with the first one is the swamp bots. Like, that's cool as a person in tech over at UF and AI and all that stuff. I get to deal with all that. Seeing that with our youth, and I'm also a bit competitive in sports. Last weekend I was at a community kickball game. I'm pretty sure we won as soon as I joined the team. Like we cleared it. So seeing that bit of competitiveness and immersion with tech and setting these kids up for success, that's really exciting. And I'm excited for if we're going to get the next regional back in the city, I will definitely be there cheering the Swamp Bots on. Another thing on here is there was a common theme on kind of like planning the future and regarding like the fire truck that has a lead time of 4 years for something that costs $2 million for growth that we're expecting and we want. And so what I want, this is I think my fourth meeting as commissioner. Is I'm going to continue working with the commissioners up here on making sure that we're addressing those needs ahead of time, because that's a lot of money and that's a lot of time to be trying to address it. Even now, right? We got, I believe our LDRs are at 65 feet, right? We're getting pretty high on there, and we already have the distribution. So that's a big concern. But I think we can work together, especially on the county, on figuring out how we can handle funding or whatever game plan, but doing that. Same with Pincosin Springs is, I knew a bit of the history as a kind of like a history buff for Alachua County, even though I've only been here for about 4 years. I like to learn a lot about history. One of the things I guess I'll stop dragging out this is I don't want our communication to just pick up next year on this. I want us to keep working, whether that's through staff direction or working with you guys, or maybe we have to have like a workshop or a special policy meeting, but continuing this dialogue, because it seems like we can get a lot done when we're keeping the conversation going, and I'm looking forward to doing that over the next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We appreciate each of you. We really do. And it's so wonderful to have you come to the city of Alachua. Thanks for your kind words. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your collaborative effort and helping us get things done here in Alachua. Now, to the citizens, thank you for each of you that are here. I understand that you all have a beautiful sculpture. Is that right? Yes. I would love to find out more about how that process worked, because I think here in Alachua we need more expressions of art. That's that's all right, because that's one thing that I really would like us to do. So I look forward to hearing more about that. Thank you.
Well, now it's my time, and guess what? I don't have too much to say because they done said it all since I was late. But I do appreciate each and every one of you coming out tonight, and this is a great learning experience for me. And I like to see us come together because I always believe we better together. And so if we can come together and resolve some of the things that the citizens like to see done, it makes us very happy. And we're so happy that y'all came in and stopped in Alachua. Where I'm come from, we used to call it Alachua, because I'm from up north. And when I heard about Alachua, but Alachua. And we thank you for coming, and we thank the citizens for all your input, and we hope that we can come together and get a lot of things done, So I appreciate everyone, and thank you.
Okay. With that being said, if there aren't any other information to come before the board, we are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.